What's up, Goody Fam? You're welcome back to my channel. If you are a returning subscriber, you have a place in my heart. Thank you so much for subscribing and sticking by me. If you're new here, this is how we do it. It is totally free. When you subscribe, it's free. You on your notification bell so you get notified whenever I upload new videos. So in today's video, I'll be showing you how I was able to sew this beautiful gathered net gown with keyhole yoke. So if this is what you are interested in, I made this so detailed that you understand it as a beginner. So if this is what you're interested in, without further ado, let's dive into the video. So basically, the first thing is to draw your normal body pattern if you are a beginner. So this is how you go about it. First, you draw your shoulder line, then you get your vertical measurement. First, you get your bust point. Mine is 10.5. Then after your bust point, you get your under bust, your half length, and the full length of the gown. You know it's a gown, but we'll be attaching a net to. So here is my hip point and my gown length. So we get the full length but not the actual length of the gown. Then after getting the horizontal measurement, we connect the lines vertically before we input our body measurement. I will label each line so that you don't get confused. So here is the bust point, the under bust, the half length, and the the hip point. Yeah, let's call that place. That's the hip point, and that is your gown length. So next is my neck width. I'll be using 3.5 inch for my neck width. Then my shoulder measurement, which is 7.5. Then I will come down by 1 inch from that shoulder measurement for my shoulder slope. Then I connect it to the neck width. Then from the shoulder slope, I'll come down by 8 inch, which will serve as my armhole. Then I will connect it with a stretch rule. Then from that point, I will draw a horizontal line. That line will serve as my chest line. Then I'll get the midpoint of my armhole by dividing what I have there by 2, which is 4. Then I'll come in by 0.5 inch from the midpoint. Then I will connect it with an armhole ruler. To get my dart, I will divide my nipple to nipple measurement by 2. Then I will mark it all the way down, then connect it with a straight ruler. So next is to connect the dart. From your half length, you come out by 0.5 inch on both sides. Then you connect it to the bust point using your straight glue. Then you come down from the under bust, you come down by 4 inch, and you connect the dot from your under bust like so. So that is it for the dart. So the next thing, we input our body measurement. We divide our bust measurement by 4, then adding 1 inch or 0.5 inch to it. So then for the under bust, you'll be dividing your under bust by 4. Then remember that we remove 0.5 inch for the dart, so you put it, then also add your extra 0.5 inch for your sewing allowance. So we do the same thing for the half length. So we divide our waist measurement by 4, then add 1 inch for the dart that we remove, plus extra 0.5 inch or 1 inch sewing allowance. So next is the hip point. For the hip points, you divide your hip measurement by 4, then you add extra 1 inch sewing allowance. So for the hem part, that's the gown length, you add extra 1 inch or 1.5 inch because it will be free at the down part where you'll be joining the neck. Then you connect the holders together. After connecting it, you cut it out.
Okay, all of them done they notice. I'm not joking. All my guys them know me. Since 06, I've been writing the story. I know be OG, but if you ask them know me. I know they blow trees, so you know me low. Music chose me.
After cutting it from the half length, you divide it by 2. You'll be using this pattern to cut out the back side. If you notice, I haven't cut out the neckline because I need to cut out the back side first before cutting the neckline. So for the back side, it's basically the same thing. Difference is you'll be adding 1.5 inch for your zip allowance, then you cut it out.
You just know this and know me.
for the neckline, we've already gotten our 3.5 inch. Then you come down by 5 inch. Then after coming down by 5 inch, from this middle point of your dart, you come up by 5 inch. You can come up by 3 inch or 4 inch, but I'll be using 5 inch. Then from here, you come in by 1 inch. Then from that point of 1 inch, you come in again by 5 inch. Please pay attention here. You connect the dots together. First, you connect the 5 inch to the 3 inch width. Then you now connect the 3 dots. Then after connecting it, you go ahead and cut it out. So I've gone ahead to cut out the main fabric. I added extra 1 inch on each side. So for the yoke, to join it with the lining, you first of all stitch the down part before you stitch the upper part. Don't stitch the armhole. That is where you will use to turn it over. When you are done stitching it, you turn it like this. Just take it easy. It's very stressful, trust me, but take your time to do it. If you notice, I have to fast forward it so that we continue with the tutorial. So if you notice again, I have to cut it into 2. It's optional. You can decide to leave your own like this, but I just wanted to give it this look that I was looking for. That was why I have to divide mine into 2. So before you attach your yoke, you have to get the center of your top. You fold your fabric into 2, then notch the center. You can iron it to get the center. You also do the same thing to your lining. Note that you are joining the lining separately and you're joining the fabric separately. So when you are done notching it, you place the yoke, that's the right side, facing each other. Then you use pin to hold it together so it doesn't move. You can go ahead to just give it a little stitch before you can now join it with the lining. Anyone that works for you, you do it. Then after you are done pinning all the yoke down, you cover it with the lining, that's the right side facing each other. Then you stitch just the upper part. So I'm done stitching it with the sewing machine. So the next thing now I'll be doing is to top stitch it like this. So I'll be going to the sewing machine to top stitch it. After I'm done top stitching it, I will be using hemming gum. It's optional. You can use hemming gum or you can leave it that way after stop stitching. Make sure you give it a good press when you are done top stitching it. So yeah, I'm done. The next thing is to close up the side. To close up the side, fold in your yoke inside, then let the right side face each other. Then you stitch just the side, leaving the down part because that is where you're going to turn it over. So we are done with the front side. So the next is to join the back side with the lining. So it's basically the same thing that we did, the right side facing each other while you join it. And don't forget to also stitch your dart. You can stitch it alongside with the lining or you can stitch it separately. I did mine with the lining. So you start from the neckline, then you stitch on both sides, leaving the armhole and the down part open. So I'm done joining all the sides with the lining, both the down part and the upper part. Also don't forget to put your dart, and don't forget that you have to leave the shoulder open so that you can join it. So to join the shoulder, you place the right side facing each other, then use one of the lining to wrap it over. When you wrap it over, the 2 lining will be one side while the ankara also will be one side. Then you use half an inch to sew it. This will give it a neat finishing when you are done sewing it. So I'm done joining the shoulder. So the next thing is to attach your down part. So you place it the way I'm placing it, then take one side of the back side, then join it with the upper side of the back side. Then you stitch it using half an inch from the waist. You also do the same thing the other side and also do the same thing to your front side.
I blow your candle light. You know I'm just that type. No, them no fit kill my vibe. Them no fit kill my vibe.
So now I'll go ahead and stitch it with 1/2 inch with the sewing machine. So here I'm done stitching it. So for the back side, that's the zipper side, I came up by 8 inch, then stitch 8 inch before I'll be adding the zip. We'll be cutting some part out, but you don't cut out the part that is closed that will be remaining when you already slant your gown. So I'm done fixing my zipper and also close the sides by using my body measurement. Please, before you do your slanting, you have to put in your zipper and also insert your body measurement. So I flip it to the wrong side. So from the joining of your waistline, that is your right side, your right hand side, you come down by 3 inch. It depends on how you want yours to be. If you want it to be high, if you want it to be low. For me, I use 3 inch because I want the starting point of the curve to be higher. So I use 3 inch. I came down by 3 inch. Then I'll be using a curve rule to connect it down.
My eyes are set, full of the stars. Yeah, you shall find her. It's a bad fight. If you hit your enemies shine. If you're not a friend of me, enter the light. Cause you can never kill my vibe. But there is no sacrifices. Everything was taken. You have to make it. Vibe killer. Me, I no go take shit. Vibe killer.
Thing is to insert our net. So for the net, you'll be using up to 10 yards or 11 yards of net if you want to have that fuller effect. So you fold the net into 2, getting your edges. When you fold your net, the open part of your net, you start with it, but you have to be folded into 2. So you start pleating it gently from this point. Start pleating it gently. This will take very, very long time, guys, trust me, but you have to take your time. So this is this when you are pleating it with the sewing machine. You pleat it bit by bit so that you can have that fuller effect when you are done sewing it. So that's it. So when you've completed sewing it all the way around, you will notice that there is still an excess remaining. You continue sewing it round. You double it so that it will have that very full effect, just the way I'm doing now.
I'm feeling vibes all night. I'm taking dynamite. I play up and all night. You know I'm just that light. No, nothing kill my vibe. Nothing kill my vibe. You nothing kill my vibe. I see you watching my stories. I see you getting my lifestyle. I see you watching my movements. This bad bitch bad every day. I know they look at your face. Bad man bad.
So I'm done joining the net all the way around. So the next thing is to cut out my actual length. I'll be using the floor so that you see properly what I'm doing. So I'll place it on the floor. I'll start from the shoulder to measure my full gown length. If you notice that the net is slanted, so I'll be cutting it just the way I slanted it on the upper side. I will slant it that way. I'll be using 47. So for that 47, it applies to the left side, that is the one that is down. Why? When you measure from the right side of your shoulder, it will be lesser than the left side because of what it is slanted. Then after I'm done, I'll go ahead and cut it out.
Every day, get on your knees and pray. Do you regain your faith? Every somebody don't take my energy from your heart. My boss gon' say I'll be my healer, everything I desire.
Is to cover it up with the lining. I'll be going to the sewing machine to show you how to do. So I go ahead to cover it with lining. If you don't do it, your body will be open. So from the joining part of the waistline, pick that 1/2 inch that you use to sew it. Then you join them together by pleating the lining. You have to pleat it so that it will be free on you. So as you're doing it, When you reach any joining part of that, let me say your back side and your front side, when you get to the joining part, you don't sew it, you omit it, so that in case you want to reshape the outfit, you can do it easily. That's the essence of omitting those joining parts and not sewing it. Yeah, so I'm done joining the lining. If you flip it over, you will see how neat it is. None of the joining on this gown is showing. It is being covered up by the lining. That is the essence of doing it that way. You see how it's neatly sewn. So the next thing is to cover the back, because if you don't cover the back, your back will be showing. To cover it, you don't start from the waistline, because if you start from there, it will be hard for your zip to open when you want to wear it. So you come down from the starting point of where your zip started. That is where it's being closed, not where the neck started, so that your back will not be showing. Then you stitch it all the way around. You don't stitch it to the down, just allow it to have a slit so that it will be easy for you to move around. That is basically it for this tutorial. If you find this helpful, please don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment, share the video so that it reaches other people that need it. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you on my next one. Bye.